Hey guys, it's me King Diablo, and in today's video I'll show you the character balance patch for Korea server. So first let's start with Archmage class. The passive skill for Archmage class got a cycle ruin upgrade. So basically say you activate the ice ruin effect first and then you activate the fire ruin effect. So the fire ruin effect will last 2 times instead of 1. So basically every second ruin that you activate will last 2 times instead of 1 time. Now let's see Fletcher class rework. This is the rework skill for Fletcher class. The previous flow of the skill has been applied as default and a new flow has been added to the skill. When this new flow is not activated, the cooldown of the skill remains 7 seconds. But when this new flow is activated, the cooldown of the skill increases to 30 seconds. So now when this new flow is active and you use this skill, after the base attack of this skill it changes to sniper mode. While in sniper mode you shoot 3 arrows in a row, and with each arrow you shoot your attack range and your damage increases. Also these arrows will automatically target your enemies even if they are moving, and as you can see on the screen, the sniper mode arrows have a very long range. So the first arrow you shoot while in sniper mode will do 1000% skill damage of the skill. The second arrow you shoot will do 1200% skill damage of the skill, and the last arrow that you shoot will do 1500% skill damage of the skill. The sniper mode can only be cancelled by using the light beam skill or your dodges. No other skill will cancel this sniper mode skill. Now let's see invoker class buff. This is the first buff skill for invoker class. This skill now has 2 charges, so basically this skill can now be used 2 times, but the cooldown duration of this skill has been increased to 7 seconds. The passive skill for invoker class has also been buffed. So now when you hit an enemy successfully by using a lightning based skill, after 3 seconds of using the skill, an additional attack will land on 3 of your opponents, which will deal 100% skill damage of the skill you used. Also similarly, when you hit an opponent by using an earth based skill, it will reduce their movement speed by 25% for 3 seconds. It will also create an area of effect in their location for 3 seconds, which will reduce the movement speed by 25% for whoever enters that area. Now let's see Phantasma class buff. So firstly, when using any skill, the mana recovery has been increased from 8 points to 12 points. Also now you cannot recover mana with the additional attacks of a skill or the additional attack flows of a skill. This is the first buff scale for Phantasma class. The mana recovery of this scale has been increased from 10 mana points to 12 mana points. This is the second buff scale for Phantasma class. This scale now recovers 50 mana points instead of 20 mana points. The passive skill for Phantasma class has also been reworked. So now a new flow has been added to the passive skill effect, which can be turned on or off according to your need. So the duration of this passive skill effect has been reduced from 20 seconds to 10 seconds, and the mana consumption has been increased from 10 mana points to 25 mana points. The process of activation of the passive skill is still the same. It's by consuming all your mana points. Also, the duration for the PvP damage increase effect to other players still remains same as before, which is 20 seconds. The passive skill has now been reworked to do an additional magic sword attack when the passive skill effect is active and the flow is active. So now when the passive skill effect is active and you use any skill on your opponent, it will land a magic sword attack which will deal 700 damage per sword. The range for this sword attacks is long range, so you can use a long range skill to use it too. And you can constantly spam skill on your opponent and it will land the sword on your opponent in long range. Even if your opponent is standing at long range from you, you can spam short range skill and the sword attacks will still land on your opponent. Now let's see Dark Knight class rework. This is the first war skill for Dark Knight class. The magic activation effect of this skill has been applied as default and it now activates automatically when your mana is over 50 points. So now the magic activation flow has been replaced with a new flow. This new flow basically reduces the forward attack range of the skill and increases the sideward attack range of the skill. So you can activate and deactivate this flow according to your need. If you need forward attack range, you can deactivate this skill, but if you need side attack range, so you can activate this skill. This is the second reward skill for Dark Knight class. You can now activate the Enchanting Frenzy passive skill effect instantly by using this skill, and the magic bullet effects of this skill has now been moved to a new flow of the skill. This is the third reward skill for Dark Knight class. The magic activation effect of this skill has now been applied as default, and it automatically activates when your mana bar is at 50 points or more. So the magic activation flow of this skill has now been changed to a super armor flow, which can be turned on and off to switch between super armor and forward guard for this skill. Also, this skill can now be connected quickly to Obsidian Ashes skill. This is the fourth reward skill for Dark Knight class. The magic activation effect of this skill has now been applied as default, so it now automatically activates when you have 50 or more mana points. The magic activation flow of this skill has now been changed to a new flow. This new flow does an explosive attack after 3 seconds of using this skill. This explosive attack lands on your enemy and deals 100% skill damage of the skill. Lastly, the passive skill for Dark Knight class has also been reworked. So now when the Enchanting Frenzy passive skill effect is active, the first state of all skills consume 20 mana points to deal additional 20% skill damage of the skill. This 20% value is not calculated over the additional attack of the skills or the additional flow attacks of the skill. Also, the effect that let you consume 0 mana points for using any skill while the Enchanting Frenzy passive skill effect was activated has now been removed. So now when you have consumed 100 mana points, it lets you activate or reset the duration for the Enchanting Frenzy passive skill effect. So that is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. I will see you in the next video.